just a little bit excited about this. I am traveling all the way to Sweden, but tonight I'm going to be staying somewhere close-ish to Oslo, probably something like Egersund or somewhere like that. I'm going to be camping wild, so I do need to look out for the bears. Other than that, it's as safe as it gets. Absolutely no problems. But this is gonna be absolutely epic. I cannot wait. I've been so excited about this trip. So excited. And you're coming with me. Whee! Right, I'm about 85 miles into the trip so far, and I rode all the way up into the mountains and did the road over, it's called Suleskard. So you ride right up into the mountains. It's about 1,000 something meters above sea level, and it actually gets pretty cold up there. So even now, the temperature difference between down here and up there is massive. So I'm kind of back down in the valley. You can see some nice, it's just epic scenery, isn't it? It's unbelievable. You know, one of the difficult things about riding through Norway, if you're trying to film it, it's like, what do I not film? Because there's just so much. I did have a bit of an episode up on the Suleskard, and I actually hit a sheep. Not very fast. I was behind kind of a bit of a convoy of cars, and the car in front of me was a car from the Netherlands. They pulled away, and a little sheep, or actually it was quite a big sheep, just ran straight in front of me. It was really slow speed, but I hit him hard enough to knock him over, and I had a little front wheel skid, but I didn't lay the bike down. I thought it might be a bit of a slow kind of lay down, but I got my feet down really quickly. But the poor thing, I knocked him over. But he was fine. He got up and kind of, we looked at each other, and he was all right, I was all right, so all good. But yeah, you can just see how you've got these warnings everywhere that there can be animals in the road. And as you could see, there's loads of sheep just everywhere, and they're just walking in the roads, and you've got to be a bit careful. So anyway, I stopped for my protein bar. This thing's massive, but it's all right. It's probably full of junk, but it says 30 grams of protein, and that kind of sells it for me. Yeah, it tastes okay too. So the GPS is saying that I'm still about 3.5 hours away. And to be honest, sometimes you look at your GPS and it shows you how much time you got left, and you're thinking, oh, that's a lot of riding to do, and you're thinking, oh. But when you're riding through scenery like this, you really don't mind that you've got another 3.5 hours left. It's just amazing. Oh yeah, and before I forget, this little place is called Valle. I'm guessing that this place will be absolutely full of people that want to go skiing in the mountains and stuff like that through the winter. But it looks lovely, absolutely beautiful. And this is about as quintessentially Norwegian as you can get, I reckon. Stunning. leaving the lovely little place called Valla. And heading back out on my adventures. From now on, I am going to try and avoid sheep. Said earlier, it's like every corner you go around, you're faced with another epic bit of scenery. It's like, oh, I should film this, I should do something with this, but you can't. You'd be filming the whole trip, but it's quite breathtaking, and it's a little bit like, you know, it's like riding like a dream world kind of thing. It's the kind of riding that you think about when you really want to go riding, you know? That's not a petrol station. Don't tell me that's a petrol station. Is that a petrol station that I can use? Really, really? Honestly? I've never seen one like this before. But maybe it is. It flipping is as well. Card in. That's pretty cool. I wanted my number 2. Okay, here we go. That was pretty awesome. I can get a bit more in there. Loads more. That'll do. All that's filled up. I quite like that. Isn't it cool? What we got left here? So it's saying 1 hour and 30 minutes to my destination. So I've not actually got anywhere to stay there. I'm just kind of winging it, really. Where am I right now? I guess if I go down to Nodden, I think that might be an idea to do that. Then I get there a little bit early. There's some food I can have there. I was going to go to Egersund, but I think it's only 40 minutes away. Let's have a look. Shops in Nodden. Because I got to get some food somewhere, but I don't know where. Plenty of places there. I'll go there. That means I can get some food. And then I'm not there too late. I can find somewhere to sleep. I don't really want to go to a campsite if I can help it. I'd like to camp wild, but but I need to be a bit careful. There are some rules about camping wild in Norway. You can camp wild, it isn't a problem, but you've got to be so far away from roads and so far away from buildings, and then you don't want to be somewhere where there's kind of bears or stuff like that, because obviously having a fight with a bear doesn't really bode well for humans. So let's get to Nodden. It's only half an hour away. That'll be a nice little ride. I've had such a good day of riding today. It's been absolutely awesome. So I'm gonna crack on. I always promise myself I'm not going to go for the pizza, and then I go for the pizza. I don't feel particularly proud, but this one has got like curry on it or something. Curry chicken or something like that. Absolutely my kind of thing. But that hits the spot big time. So tonight I got to find my way out into like the wilderness somewhere and find somewhere to camp. And I'd rather not go to a campsite, because it's just an unnecessary use of like 30 quid, because campsites are quite expensive in Norway. So I think I'm going to head up into the hills somewhere. This seems to be one of those towns where loads of young people just drive around in their cars with loud music on for no reason, just out cruising. Oh, stop it. So I've decided to carry on riding in the direction I'm supposed to be going in. Get out of town here and find somewhere secluded where I can set up camp. I really want a wild camp tonight. I don't want to end up in a campsite, so I'm going to do my best to find somewhere where nobody's going to find me for the night. So I'm just going to go and get my water bottle. I'm going to fill it up here, so I got something to clean my teeth with, something to drink through the night, should I need that, and then I'm off. It is, what time is it now? It's like just past 9 o'clock or something, and it's still obviously really, really light. It won't get dark for a long time yet. It might not probably get dark at all actually, but anyway, I'm gonna hit the road. Right, so I'm gonna head out again. So, the wild camping rules in Norway are quite simple, because they have a thing which is called right to roam, I think it's called, which means that you can go ahead and roam freely and all that stuff. I better put it in first. There we go. Because they have this right to roam thing, you are allowed to stay on public land as long as you are not closer than 150 meters from somebody's house. So I'm doing a little bit of a diversion, not a massive one, a little bit of a diversion to get me into some countryside where there isn't going to be anybody or anything. I've just had a little look on the map. Kind of looks like it's the middle of nowhere. Nobody lives there, no houses, no nothing. So I've just ridden past this little road here, thinking maybe doesn't look like anybody lives here, or that much happens up here. So I think, if I'm lucky, I might be able to just pitch my tent just off the road. Let's see if I can. I hope there's not like a cabin at the end of it. Let's have a look. Let's have a little scout, shall we? Right, I think I'm going to leave my jacket on while I'm doing this, because I can feel there are a few little insects around. and they're probably going to completely eat me. Time to set up camp. Obviously, someone can come and tell me to move if they want, but I mean, what's the point in that? Kind of ready for bed then. The sun is going down. I'm in the forest just outside of Nodden. I've had a good day of riding. Lilian and her sister are still driving because they are driving to Sweden as well. And I'm meeting them there, but obviously I wanted to ride and not drive. I think probably I'll start really early. I'll start when I wake up. I've got nothing to hang around here for, so I think I'll wake up, pack up the tent, and off I go. I tell you what has been a little bit strange, and that is coming back to our old house. Now, the last time we were there, it was about 6 years ago when the tenants that just moved out moved in. And we went over just to paint the house, just to kind of make it look a bit nicer. A little bit internally, just paint, didn't do anything major. And then externally, you have to paint the house like every 6 or 7 years for a Norwegian house, these wooden houses. So we got there and we couldn't remember, but we found a couple of boxes in the eaves up in the loft of stuff that we'd left there. And it was a box full of old cards and letters from before even me and Lilian were married. I used to be much better at keeping letters and cards and things like that. And Lilian's always been amazing at doing that. Every birthday card, everything is always kept meticulously. And I found letters from my mum and dad, or Lilian found letters from my mum and dad, and she said, you need to come and read these, but you need to be kind of prepared, you know. And I got to say, that hit me really hard. That hit me really hard. It was this morning. We were a bit late kind of getting packed up and leaving, and I was reading through these letters, and I read a letter from my dad to me, and it was almost like he was writing to a friend, you know. And I never ever thought that Dad ever saw me as like a friend like that. It's not because, you know, not because he said, oh, I don't want to be your friend or anything like that. It was never that. But we had such a father-son relationship, a kind of of the traditional type, if you know what I mean. And I'm reading that letter saying, oh, I'm looking forward to seeing you so we can, it was something to do with coming over for my birthday or something like that. They say, I'm looking forward to coming over so we can party together. Now, I can't remember that we actually ever did party together on that birthday or any birthday. But it was just the way that he wrote it that just struck me. And the pang of like grief that hit me so hard, straight in the heart, you know. For you guys that are listening and you've had a bereavement, you know exactly what I mean. Those kind of things that hit you so hard, and it's just out of the blue. I was completely like thinking I was just going to be reading some birthday cards, you know, and that was it, some old birthday cards. But that one really struck me because it felt like Dad was writing to an old friend, you know, and that. Whew, flip. And then also reading a birthday card from my nan, you know, my mum's mum, before she died. And that was a long time ago. No, it wasn't a birthday card. It was a card congratulating us, me and Lilian, on the birth of Elias. So this was 22 years ago. And it was probably one of the last cards that my nan ever wrote. And it was almost ineligible. you almost couldn't read it was just a load of scribbles, but you could make out what she'd written. And I just thought, how awesome is that my nan at the age of like 85 was still writing cards and sending them in the post all the way to Norway, you know. And oh man, yeah. Anyway, so that box, I could only get a little bit of the way through it. I couldn't really spend much more time on it for various reasons. You know, we had to get out the door really and start this journey, but that's gonna take some getting through that box, I think. I never used to be like this. I never used to think that I was like this. I used to think that I was completely kind of like, oh, I don't, you know, everything's cool, you know, I can take it in my stride, you know. But not a chance, man. I have absolutely turned into a real softie. And yeah, and now, you know, I kind of wish, you know, back to that letter from my dad, I kind of wish that I'd read that years ago and then thought, wow, you know, gosh, that was an interesting way of speaking to me. A real kind of matey, and there's everything in me, every cell in my body wants him back. I want him back, like badly, because I want to, you know, do I have regrets? You know, do I have regrets? Do I think I could have been a better son? I think probably, sometimes. Even in the later years now, you know, could I have been more of a companion for him, you know, a better friend? Probably. Loved him with all my heart, but now that he's gone, you start thinking about the things that you maybe could have done better. And it's tough. It's tough. Put your thoughts in the comments below, man. I would appreciate hearing from you that have gone through similar things. Losing parents is tough, isn't it? And I really feel for you if you have to. Anyway, right, I've walked past my little camp a couple of times now, walking up and down this road. I think I'm gonna get in to bed. You know, there's some books that I brought with me. Books I brought with me to Norway. Stuff that I haven't read that I feel like I probably should have read by now. So I've got the works of Huxley that I want to work through, and they're quite easy reads actually, to be fair. So, but I've got the Brave New World with me. I've got that in the tent right now, and I'm gonna have a little read of that. So, for now, thanks so much for joining me on the first day of this trip over to Sweden, and thanks for subscribing, thanks for following, thanks for commenting and connecting. I really appreciate it, and I'm feeling a bit like connected to the world right now, surrounded by these trees and this beautiful nature everywhere. Feeling a bit soppy. Anyway, I will speak to you in the morning. Sleep well.